Good morning, Chair Lafferty. For the record, it is 10 a.m.
Hold on.
on. Okay, I'm holding.
Sorry.
All good.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Lord. Good morning. This is Chair Lafferty. For the record, it is 10 a.m. on the 10th of March, 2026. This is agenda item number 1. Let's go ahead and open the Nevada Hazard Mitigation Working Group meeting. Lauren, can you please conduct the roll call?
Lauren Borst for the record. Heather Lafferty.
Present.
Andrew Trelease.
Present.
Stephen A. Croft.
Here.
You. Eric Antle. Salome Barton. D.T. Allen. Tim Hill. Sherry Davis.
Here.
You. Rich Kohler.
Here.
John Johnson. Cameron Kramer. Sarah Fickner. Lisa Nash. Matt Williams.
Here.
Thank you, Matt. Laney Perro. Present. Zach McCullough.
Here.
Tammy Kincaid. Samantha Laddick. Dawn Johnson.
Here.
Thank you, Dawn. You're currently one shy of quorum. Do you want to give it a few more minutes?
Yeah, let's give it a few more minutes, Lauren. Lauren, at about 1:05, do you want to call the missing members again and we'll see if anybody jumped on?
I can do that, sure.
Thank you. Lauren or Sam, I don't know, it might be a better who this question would be for. Would Cami be part of quorum as a non-voting member?
Oh, no, it's only voting members for the calculation of quorum.
Okay. Okay, just want to double check.
Andrew Trelease, for the record, I just want to point out that I will have to duck out about 10:25 as well. So we probably need 2 people to join to have a quorum if I have to leave.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it.
Lauren Vorst, for the record, I'm gonna go through the members that were not here for initial quorum. Eric Antle.
Present. Good morning.
Good
Good morning, Eric.
Salome Barton. DT Allen. Tim Hill. Cameron Kramer. Sarah Fickner.
Present.
Thank you, Sarah. Lisa Nash. Tammy Kincaid. Tammy, I see you on. Are you able to come off mute? I see you off mute, but I can't hear you. Solomon Barton. Solomon, can you confirm that you are here for quorum, please?
Okay, perfect. Yes, I am here. My apologies. I was having issues, electronic issues. I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you, Solomon. You have quorum, and Andrew, with you leaving, we should still be fine and maintain quorum.
Thank you, Lauren, and good morning, Salome. Chair Lafferty, we will go ahead and close agenda item number 1 and proceed to number 2. Agenda item number 2. Next is agenda item number 2. This is for public comment. This is for discussion only. This is a first period set aside for public comment. If you would like to make public comment by phone, please call in by dialing 669-219-2599. When you are prompted, please enter the meeting ID. Please enter 202-331-8963 and press pound. When prompted for participant ID, please press pound. When asked to provide a public comment, please press *6 to unmute yourself and *6 again when your comments are complete. In order to give people time to call in, I'm going to read the number one more time. Again, this is the first period set aside for public comment. If you would like to make public comment by phone, please call in by dialing 669-219-2599. When you are prompted to enter a meeting ID, please enter 202-331-8963 and press pound. When prompted for participant ID, please press pound. When asked to provide a public comment, please press *6 to unmute yourself and *6 again when your comments are complete. Let's start with members on the Zoom platform. Does anyone have public comment on Zoom? Okay, let's move on to the phone. Is there anyone on the phone that would like to make public comment? Please press *6 to unmute yourself and make public comment, or *6 when your comments are completed. Okay, hearing no further public comments at this time, I will close agenda item number 2 and move on to agenda item number 3. Agenda item number 3, this is approval of minutes from our August 5th, 2025 meeting. This item is for discussion, possible action. Would anyone like to discuss the minutes?
Andrew Trelease, make a motion to approve the minutes.
Excellent. Thank you, Andrew. I will entertain the motion to approve from Andrew. Do I have a second?
This is Sherry Davis. I'll second.
Thank you, Sherry. We have a first by Andrew and a second by Sherry. Let's take a vote. All in favor of approving the minutes from August 5th, 2025, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. Okay, motion passes, and I will close out agenda.
Sorry. It's your
No,
friendly
you're
dag. It's your friendly dag. Did you say August 5th minutes or did you say November minutes?
I think I did say August.
Okay, I
Sorry.
just want to make sure the record's clear that we're approving from November 2025.
My
Yeah,
motion's.
I noticed that as well. November 4th, 2025, right? That's the date on the minutes that were sent out.
Yes. Apologies for that.
My motion was for November, so.
Thank you, Andrew.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to make sure.
No, I
everybody-
appreciate it, Sam. For the record, yes, that's great. Motion passes, and I will close out agenda item number 3 and move on to agenda item number 4. Agenda item number 4, this is for discussion, and we will now conduct an overview of the hazard mitigation grant, post-fire assistance, and an introduction of rankings. So this again is Chair Lafferty for the record. And thank you to all the members, agency representatives, and public for being here today. Before we get into our proposal review, I'd like to provide a brief overview of the Hazard Mitigation Program Post-Fire Initiative, often referred to as HMGP Post-Fire. The HMGP Post-Fire Program provides federal funding to states following major wildfire events, and these funds support long-term hazard mitigation projects to reduce the risks to lives, property, and infrastructure in Nevada. The program focuses on strengthening community resilience and addressing vulnerabilities that wildfires may create or worsen. For the fiscal year 2025, the Nevada Office of Emergency Management was awarded a total of $1,285,231 in HMG post-fire funding for the Callahan Fire. Today, we will be reviewing project proposals submitted by eligible agencies seeking to use a portion of these funds. I do want to briefly highlight the cost share requirements. The HMGP post-fire program requires 75% federal and 25% non-federal cost share. The non-federal match must be cash in-kind contributions or a combination, but cannot be federal funds or funds already used as a match for another federal award. How we have, as a group, decided to move forward in how we prioritize applications is we have 3 prioritization categories for the ranking and voting members. That our working group will rank and vote on applications based on the following criteria that we previously established. The first priority when considering applications should be given to any project that is located in the specific area impacted by the fire for which the FMAG was granted. Second priority should be given to projects located within the county where the FMAG originated or occurred. In this case, for the Callahan, it would be Washoe County. And then third priority is all other eligible projects statewide. So then the projects would open to everyone else in the state who has a qualifying project. Our eligible projects, just for the public's awareness on the type of projects this application covers for HMGP, are not exhaustive, but some examples are wildfire mitigation, seismic retrofit, drought mitigation, flood control, utility and infrastructure protection, codes and standards, acquisitions, education and awareness. And acquisitions, generally what we mean is if we have critical infrastructure or housing that's been continually damaged through flooding or fire, we can support acquiring that back and creating open spaces to mitigate that area. Nevada Office of Emergency Management has received 3 sub-applications for FY25 post-fire funding. Representatives for each of those 3 applications will present their proposed projects, and then voting members will evaluate each project. Voting members, as we move through the project presentations, please refer to and utilize the ranking guide provided and mark yes or no for each of those questions outlined. These ranking guides are not an official public document. They are simply provided to help you track your thoughts and refer back for your prioritization rankings and votes. And then after the meeting, Lauren will send out an email just asking if you could email her your guides. So we have those. Your rankings should reflect how well each proposal aligns with the criteria outlined in the ranking sheet. And we ask members to provide a numerical ranking of priority. Ranking 1 represents the highest priority, and ranking of 3 represents lowest priority. Once all the ranking sheets are completed, we will ask members to verbally state their rankings of projects for the record. Are there any questions up to this point or comments about the ranking process before we get into the actual project proposal presentations?
Sarah Fickner, for the record. Just a quick question. I added up all the funding requests and the amount available, and there's only 30,000 more requested than what's available. So is there a possibility of all 3 projects being approved and being able to trim a little bit off?
Yes, that's a great question, Sarah. So there is a couple of ways that this can go because all of our rankings that we are putting in, we are submitting to the chief for his review as a recommendation of what projects should be submitted. And through that, we have a couple of options. We can, after the presentations or after the first round of rankings, we can ask the 3 projects submitted if there are areas where they can reduce that 27,567, I believe is what we're officially over. And so if anyone is able to reduce and then we come up above the red line, all 3 projects would be approved. Or the project that falls into third ranking, into third place, would just can still submit. They would just be reduced by that $27,567.
Okay, roger that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question, Sarah. Thank you. Are there any other questions about the ranking process before we move into presentations for the projects?
Sarah, this is Samantha Laddick from the Attorney General's office. Can I ask a question?
Yes, absolutely.
You made a comment that there were certain documents that weren't going to be public in this process, and I just want to make sure I understood you correctly, because every document that you're using to create your rankings will be public and will be submitted to be attached to the minutes, unless there's something that I don't understand. So I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page and the members know how their documents are going to be used.
Okay, yeah, sorry, that was my poor phrasing. Yes, it will be public. I meant to say it will be public.
Okay,
the ranking
perfect. I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, that apology, that was me, Miss Vicky. Thanks, Sam, for that.
Thank you.
No, I appreciate it.
Hi,
And
hi,
yep,
Heather,
go ahead.
Salome. I hope you can hear
Salome?
me.
I can hear you.
So were these the proposed packets projects, were they sent out for review? Because I don't remember seeing any.
Yes, so Lauren sent out an email that had all of the applications attached and also had the review sheet for the rankings. And I believe she also yesterday sent out a prep guide.
The primer, the guide?
Yeah, so she sent out a primer yesterday, but before that, she had sent out an email with all of the attached applications. If you don't have that, if you can't find that, Salome,
I do not have it, because
could we send that to you now?
Please, because I've never received the last email I received was the draft minutes, which was in January, and I had not received anything until the primer Monday.
And this is also Dawn, for the record. I also just emailed Lauren. I don't have a copy of any of that material either. I went back through all the old emails and found the minutes from November, and the primer sent yesterday as well.
This is Matt Williams for the record. I know I'm new, but I didn't get any of that either.
Okay.
Rich Kaler for the record, I didn't get it either. I just looked through all my emails and didn't see it, so.
Yeah.
For the last couple months, so.
Andrew Trelease, same with me. I didn't get the applications. Sounds like
This-
I got what everyone else got.
This is Sherry Davis. I did get it, but the ranking guide is not a fillable form and I don't have access to a printer and it's going to be really difficult to complete the ranking guide without it being a fillable form.
And I'm sorry, that was Sherry Davis? Okay. What
Yes,
we'll do then. Oh, sorry, Sherry. Okay. Sherry, what we're going to do is we're going to take a verbal ranking vote. And the grants team will pull up the spreadsheet and we're going to call on each voting member. So we will be able to get it on the record, your rankings, if you aren't able to complete that sheet.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. What we'll do now then is, Lauren, are we able to pause a second and resend out the email?
Lauren Borst for the record, I just resent everyone that made comment that they didn't receive them an email with all of the proposals and the fillable ranking sheet.
Okay, excellent. Let me pull up. And Lauren, the original email, do you have it there? Are you able to see when we sent out the original email?
Give me just one moment. It was
Thanks,
sent
Lauren.
Steve A. Groth, I received it March 5th at 7:44 a.m.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Okay. What I will do then, members, after this meeting is over, is I will work with Lauren and we'll just look and see if there's some weird firewall thing that's happening or some of the addresses maybe need to be updated. And we'll try and figure out why some members didn't get the original email when it went out. Has everyone received Lauren's new email?
This is Salome for the record. No, I have not received it and I have been refreshing my email. But also I do believe, because we all migrated here at Microsoft 365. We have been having issues and I know our IT department is aware. So if there's anything, it could be that the application is messing up, but I have not received anything.
And this is Dawn Johnson for the record. Same thing. Keep refreshing. I have not seen it come through yet.
Matt Williams for the record, same.
Okay. Let me see.
Yeah, for the record, this is Rich Kaler. I also just checked my junk folder and I don't see the applications email in there either.
Matt.
Andrew Trelease, I've not received it yet either.
Hello, this is Samantha Laddick for the record. Lauren, are these materials posted on the OEM website meeting materials section?
Yes, they are.
I wonder if there's a way we could navigate everybody there. I think the question still exists whether everyone feels that they're going to have enough time to review these in order to do a ranking today, but that's not for me to decide. That's for you guys to decide. But there may be a way to access them quicker given the email issues if we can navigate to the materials section of the OEM website for public meetings.
Yeah, maybe that address could get put in the chat or something like that, and then we could just download them directly or something.
There unfortunately is not a chat due to
Oh,
open
yeah.
meeting law
I
issues.
forgot.
So then I was going to say, well, maybe we'll email you the link, but now that
It's,
makes me nervous.
It's www.oem.nv.gov.
oem.nv.
.gov.
Lauren, are we able to pull up the website to show them the path to get to the meeting minutes?
Sure.
Andrew Trelease, for the record, I need to leave the meeting now. Sorry
Thank
about
you,
that.
Andrew. Sorry about that.
All right, thanks.
Lauren Borst for the record. So once you've navigated to this page, you're going to use the top ribbon under public meetings. From there, you'll go to the left-hand side that says 2026 Nevada Hazard Mitigation. And then you are going to see all of the documents for today's meeting, including the 3 applications located here.
Excellent.
Thank you, Lauren. And then I will just ask the group, do we feel comfortable proceeding with access to these documents today and reviewing as they present their projects?
This is
Solomon
Rich
Barton, for the record, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say yes. It'd probably be good to hear the presentations, but then maybe the committee members would like a little bit of time to actually review the documents themselves. Because there's 6 or 7 documents, but I don't know if we can read them as the, as the
Yeah,
presentation
absolutely.
happens.
I'm happy to provide some time before we go into ranking for the committee members to review the applications themselves, the physical copies after the presentations. Would the committee be happy with that?
Solomon Barton, for the record, I'm happy with that.
Okay, thank you, Salome and Richard. And again, apologies. We'll try and figure out why some of these, it's going to some members and not other members.
This is Steve
Yeah.
Acroft. I did just receive Lauren's email at 10:26.
At 10, okay, excellent, good. Yes, thanks, Steve. I appreciate it for that update. Okay, so then I will circle back to now that we all have access to the materials and we will navigate that. Do we have any other questions about the actual ranking process before we go into project review? Okay, and I did want to, before we close out, again, just say welcome and congratulations to our new members, Matt Williams, Cammie Kincaid, and Zach McCollum, who are joining us in this working group and helping us mitigate and make Nevada a safer, more resilient place. And we appreciate your time and efforts. I will close out agenda item number 4 and move on to agenda item number 5. Agenda item number 5 is review of submitted HMGP post-fire applications. This is for discussion, possible action. Again, this is Chair Lafferty. We will now begin presentations and lay out some expectations. Each agency representative will have 5 minutes to present their proposal to the working group. And during the presentations, we ask voting members to refer to the ranking sheets provided to evaluate each project. After all 3 presentations are finished, there will be time for members to ask questions. We'll start now with the presentation and proposal from Nhmwg from City of Reno Fire Department. Aaron, let us get your presentation pulled up for you, and we're happy to begin.
Good morning, thank you. Nhmwg from the City of Reno, for the record. I will wait for whatever presentation you have. Are you going to put it on? Okay, you're just going to pull it up on your own computers?
Yeah, Aaron, did you send in? Let me just double check, make sure.
I did not send anything in. I was not aware that we needed to, but I'm happy.
Oh, no, that's okay. You for sure do not need to.
Okay.
Feel free to proceed. Thanks, Aaron.
We are submitting a project for 3 fire station emergency generators. Our fire stations 2, fire station 6, and fire station 10. Each of these stations, the generator was original to the station construction, and they range from 40 to 50 years old. We are asking for these projects because the equipment itself has exceeded the useful life and has been increasingly difficult to find parts to repair. The project total cost is $300,000. That's $225,000 for the federal share and then $75,000 for the city share. Brief overview of why the project is needed. These stations are 24/7 operation for fire suppression, EMS, and disaster response. With the region experiencing an increase in power outages due to wildfires, red flag wind events, winter storms, and NV Energy preemptive shutdowns. These outages have affected station apparatus bay doors, our communication systems, the lighting and HVAC systems, and our equipment charging capabilities at each of these stations. Ultimately, without the reliable backup power, our response capability has and can be delayed during emergencies. The scope would include the replacement of these generators, as well as updates to the automatic transfer switches, upgraded electrical distribution panels, and overall, the project will have minimal impact or ground disturbance as they're just replacement of current existing generators. The community impact, this project ensures continuous emergency response during power outages. It helps protect life, safety, and property, supports our fire suppression and EMS efforts, and improves community resilience during hazardous events. This project also aligns with the recently approved Community Wildfire Protection Plan, and that's specific to the city of Reno. And then we also have the project listed within the local hazard mitigation plan for Washoe County. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions. Oh, one more thing, just for reference, our BCR score on this was 3.29, just for a reference point. But other than that, I'm happy to take some questions if you have any.
Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that. Are there any questions or comments regarding this project presentation for Aaron?
This is Steve Acroft. Got a couple questions, if I may.
Go ahead, Steve.
Thank you. So the first question is, it came up a little bit earlier. Are there any costs that could be mitigated to fund all 3 of these? Or is this sort of a baseline cost for the generators and the acquisition of the generators?
This is a baseline cost for the acquisition of the generators, as well as what we've been estimated at in terms of the work that needs to be installed for those.
Okay. And then upon receiving the generators, there is a scoring matrix here, talks about readiness to proceed. Basically, those are gonna replace existing generators. So the second you get them, they'll be manageable and up and running.
Correct. Yeah, the electrical work will be minimal according to our public works folks that would be managing the project itself. So this is a shovel ready project. It's just putting them on the existing pads, and it's kind of a plug and play and update.
Okay. And then the last question I have, you have crews and whatnot to maintain this, the generators and make sure they're operational once they're acquired.
Correct. Yeah, they are managed, and there's preventative maintenance programs from our BTS and public works folks.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for those questions, Steve. Did any of the other members have questions for Aaron?
Heather, this is Eric Antill for the record. A question.
Eric, yes, go ahead.
Thanks, Heather, and good morning, Aaron.
Morning.
One question I have is the Reno fire stations indicated 2, 6, and 10. Are those geographically located close to the Callahan Ranch fire? I know that they're within Washoe County.
This is primarily the Washoe County section. I think it was phase or approval 2 for you guys. So it's not geographically close to the Callahan Fire. It'd be more for the region.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate the question. Do any members have questions for Aaron before we proceed? Chair Lapidity, again, thank you, Aaron, for that presentation. And we will now give the floor to Tom Delaire from Douglas County. Tom?
Good morning, everybody. Oh, that's nice.
Good morning, Tom.
Can you guys see us in the owl here? Yeah.
Turn it.
We can see you. Yeah, there you are.
It usually selects you when you start talking, but now we get to look into the owl. So thank you very much for everybody's time and this morning and listening to these presentations. It doesn't say I can share. You cannot share while others are participating and sharing.
We can, we absolutely can give you permission to share if you have a presentation. Would you like to share a presentation?
Yes, please. I do.
Lauren?
Yeah, we've got it now. Can you guys see that?
Oh, excellent. Yes, I can see that.
Okay, so I have Courtney Walker here with me. She's our our stormwater program manager for Douglas County, and then Tom Delaire. I'm Tom Delaire. I'm the director of community development. Our project actually is in Douglas County, so we are part of the Connor Fire, which I understand hasn't actually received a federal number yet, project number for it. But we were wanted to get started on this application. And we are talking about an area out in Runestroth. And for those of you who are not familiar with Douglas County, it's in the south of Minden and Gardnerville, about 1.5 to 2 miles down towards Topaz. And it is in a Smelter Creek drainage basin, which the Connor Fire actually burned through last year. And then in 2025, we had a flooding event. And this house that we are looking to acquire actually had quite a bit of water around it. And we were just based on how it was constructed. It has a crawl space construction. There are vents in it and around the home, but the owner could raise the home, but we want to just see if we can acquire the land and demo it and turn it back into open space. That's our desire. That's Douglas County's desire. And then so we would acquire the land, do the demo on the property, remove all of the infrastructure that was put in there, the fencing. A lot of the fencing was damaged, but do a lot cleanup and turn it back into open space for this neighborhood. Here you can see how much water. This is a picture actually from the owner of the home, and during the event, so you can see how it really went right up into the front of the house. I understand there's about 2 inches of water inside the home. And our scope of work is basically the acquisition of the property, which is the most expensive part of it. It is, we estimated it at pre-event numbers, which is about $720,000 to $740,000 to acquire the land. And then once that happens, if that happens, then the county would start working on demolition permits. We have the drawings already ready to submit for a demo permit. We'd submit with Southwest Gas to remove the power meter or the electric meter, and the Nevada Energy with the power meter. There also is telephone and cable to the site. We would remove all the utilities, submit an application to Nevada Division of Water for the well abandonment, and I think the septic system actually goes through Douglas County, but if the state has a program where they're tracking septic abandonments, we would file the paperwork on that. Once we received all those permits, we would go out to award to demo the property and clean up the land, and then finish out or close out all of the grant processes, and we estimated that to be about just over a year. We figured the acquisition and the grant award was going to take the longest time, And, but once we got the permits rolling, we figure we can do this probably within 45 days to get it demoed and cleaned up. It's not going, there we go. So this was a post-event picture on the upper left here. You can see the watermark on the house. And then during the event, this is his backyard. The deck actually ended up down here on downstream. It actually pulled the whole thing away like a big raft and ended up downstream on Settlemeyer's ranch. And then here's in the lower side, you can this lower picture shows where the utilities are all located. The guy is in the process of cleaning it up right now. His home, it was a rental house for him, but they're working on fixing it still today after the September 25 event. Yeah, there we go. And this is the overall for the site. The blue lot here is our actual property. North of the property is BLM land, and somebody over time, one of the owners had previously cleared out an area and created a berm. You can really see that on this aerial. And part of the project would be applying to BLM to get this mitigated and remove all the berms and clean up that site and regrade it so that it can grow back to being native. The Settlemeyer Ranch is to the west of the property and downstream, and that's where the deck ended up being, is down there. Our project budget is $799,778. That's the county match is just under 200,000, and we were requesting just under 600,000 for the grant. And then the demo and permitting portion of that amount, we are estimating at 59,000, just under 60,000. Also, and I don't think this information is in your packet, but I know Senator Cortez Masto has been pushing back in Congress some lands bills. It's unclear if Douglas County was part of that. I think Southern Nevada and also Carson City from the articles that we could tell, but we have been on site and met with Senator Masto and staff had taken her on a tour of our areas for our lands bill for Douglas County. This has been in the works in Congress for a long time. I'm not sure really what the holdup is, but this project site is adjacent to that property, just immediately south. And on that previous slide, we had shared with you that the BLM property that's the same property that Douglas County is trying to acquire from BLM. I don't know why it won't let me go back. There we go, right there. And so this BLM land immediately north of the site is the property that Douglas County is trying to acquire through that lands bill in Congress. So I don't know when that will happen or how long that will take, but that is our project today, and it would really help with on our cleanup of the Smelter Creek after an event, obtaining this property, and then also removing a structure from the flood areas and floodplains in this county. That would be potential future loss, of course, if the house remained.
Can I just add one thing? The September 2025 event is not the first time that this home has experienced flood damage. It was damaged in 2023, and then again in 2019, I believe. And so it is considered a repetitive loss property, which is why we think it's probably best just to remove it and return it back to the open space.
And do you have any questions for us?
Chair Lafferty, thank you, Tom, for that presentation. We appreciate it. Do any of the members have questions for Tom regarding this project?
This is Sherry Davis for the record. This is a kind of project that I have no idea about, right? This is sort of something new that I've never heard of before. So is it standard to pay someone who has a loss like that a pre-event, pre-ELOS amount for their home when they would not be able to get that on the open market? I was curious about that.
Yeah, this is Tom Delaire again. I haven't gone through this process, so the paperwork that we have read through was a pre-event. If you're gonna purchase the property, it would be done so through a pre-event
Appraisal.
appraisal. Yeah. Yeah, so we'd have to go through that process. That'll take some time to get the appraisal, and then when they determine what the actual price is, it would have to be determined based on a pre-event an appraisal. So that would be the amount that we'd be able to pay for this property. We were estimating this based on the neighborhoods that of land that had sold before September in that same area, which was around $720,000 to $740,000 for the homes.
Thank you for that clarification.
Thank you for that question, Sherry. I appreciate it. And Tom, for that answer. Do any of the other members have questions for Tom about this project?
Hi, this is Salome Barton.
Hi, Salome, go ahead.
Hello. Okay, real quick, and I excellent presentation, by the way. Tom, thank you very much. One of the questions I wanted to know is, looking at those other homes in that area, what has been done to mitigate for their properties not to have as much of an effect, or is it on at a slope where they don't accumulate that much water for damage to occur? And do they require any assistance from the hazard mitigation program to maintain their property, not to get any more damage than that particular location?
Yeah, thank you for the question. There are a number of houses. I think there were 7 homes in that 2025 event that had water going around them. This is the only home that actually went through and into the house. Like, it was the whole entire house.
Oh, yeah.
Like the whole entire house. There was some that had some water that entered like a room is all. It wasn't a lot of water inside. And it was further upstream. We do have, and the county has a plan, a stormwater master plan, where we have identified a large basin that would be installed upstream on the Smelter Creek, where we would be able to monitor and release floodwaters in a flood-in event at a lower rate because of the basin retaining the floodwaters. And that is a project and a priority for our board. And we want to, we'll get to that point in the future. We're trying to get a stormwater utility set up and a mechanism to pay for that kind of infrastructure improvements as a community. And we're working through that process right now. So it's years to come down the road. And but we do have plans already in place and ready to implement. It's just coming up with the funds to actually build the infrastructure. The stormwater department has, after this event has gone through, and I think there was 5 or 6 properties that agreed to our agreement, where we went in and cleaned out this channel, and cleaned out some of the berms that had been located in the floodplain, which we think contributed to some of the diversions down here in the lower portion of this neighborhood. But we have cleaned that up since that event, and we're waiting for more property owners to allow us to access their property and clean that channel up in an effort to ensure that the flows are along the Smelter Creek itself and not through the homes.
So much, Tom. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank you for that question, Salome. We appreciate it. And thank you, Tom, for that answer. Do any of the members have any other questions for Tom and his project?
Heather, this is Eric Cantel for the record.
Hi, Eric. Yes, go ahead.
I have a question for the committee and the chair, and maybe the DAG is, as much as I appreciate the forward thinking moving forward with this proposal, is it appropriate to rate an HMGP off the FMAG that is not awarded a grant yet? I feel like we're too far ahead.
Oh, okay. So, that's a great question, Eric. This is coming in under option 3 in priority, which is open to the whole state to submit projects. And so this is not being submitted under the Connor Fire. This is part of the project submitted under the money that was approved for Callahan as an open to the state project. So priority number 3.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Yeah, of course, Eric.
This is Steve Akroth. I do have a question.
Yes, Steve, go ahead.
Got the indications from the presentation that the home is currently occupied. Is that correct?
This is Tom Delaire. It is in the remodel stage right now. We've given him the options on how to get into compliance. Either he raises the foundation and the whole house up a few feet. Actually, it needs to go up a few feet. Added flood vents in the foundation, and then in our conversations with him about that, we looked into seeing if we could just acquire it and demo it, so we don't have this house sitting out in the floodplain, in the middle of the floodplain, into the future. So that's when we decided to try and get some grant funding to purchase the property.
Right, so it's not occupied right now.
And it's not occupied right now. He is in the middle of doing a remodel and cleaning up up that house too.
Okay, and to the extent that you know this, is he receptive to what you guys have proposed, either from a cost standpoint, reimbursement standpoint, however you want to phrase that?
He is aware that we are trying to go after some funding to purchase it. He would prefer that it was a 2-week process instead of a couple-year process, of course, but
sure,
because he is in the middle of remodeling and he's like, well, I don't know what to do in the meantime, and so I just saw him yesterday. I just ran into him in town at lunch, and he seemed excited about the prospect of this grant, but we just told him we didn't know what the outcome was going to be, and we'd have to wait to see how it gets ranked, because we aren't in the Connor Fire
Callahan.
or the we're in the priority 3 ranking on this particular application. Eventually the Connor Fire ones will come out. All right, I'm assuming they'll get will be a priority 1 at that point, but once that number is issued, but I don't we just don't know what the future is of this program.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Tom. And yes, none of the members know the future of FEMA and the funding. And so that's a great point there. Okay, for any of the members, before we move on to the next project, do we have any more questions for Tom?
Thank you, everybody.
No, thank you so much, Tom. We really appreciate it. And we will now give the floor to Heather McDonald from Douglas County to review her project. Heather?
Good morning. Thank you, everyone. Heather McDonnell, Minden Tahoe Airport Manager. Thanks for this time today. This is my first big grant process, so I'm really excited about the process and learning about it. And it looks like you guys are doing a great job. Even though you have small technical difficulties, I still completely understand. We all go through those pains. But I do want to share a map I have with you guys before I start, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely, Heather. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. This is our GIS. This outlays the overall Minden Tahoe Airport. So this is a growing regional general aviation airport located in Douglas County. It is owned by Douglas County, but it is not funded by Douglas County. 100% of our operating and maintenance costs come from rents from hangar tenants and property leases that we have. The major capital improvement funding that we have is from the Federal Aviation Administration grants to ensure our runways and taxiways are up to code and standards. Currently, our main runway right here, 3416, is a lighted runway. It helps all traffic that comes through on this main landing in the evenings when it's lit. We have a wide variety of traffic that comes to this airport, all the way from the small glider to the Class 3 jets. And so there is a lot of potential for different interactions with planes with no motors to planes with giant motors. So we try and make everything as safe as possible for all scenarios. We are also in the process right now of getting a grant to light our main taxiway. Taxiway Alpha will be lit next year. So we'll have one main lit taxiway and one main lit runway to help with evening and nighttime operations. Currently, our master record plan states we have approximately 90,000 operations a year, which translates into about 200 a day. A little background on that, one operation is a takeoff, another operation is a landing. So that's not necessarily flights per day, that's just the takeoff and operations. This project would help us very much mitigate our power outages that we have here at this airport through major wind events, NV energy shutdowns, cable repairs, and flood and fire potentials. We do get floods at this airport. Our last big flood event took out one of our dirt runways down here and started to cross over into this main runway. So this project would create a generator that would back up not only our main runway lights and taxiways, but our visual aid systems, which help for landing, our AWAS system, our all-weather observing system, which reports out every 20 seconds the weather conditions for the pilots so that they can decide on their takeoff and landings to operate safely with wind, temperature, dew points, density, altitude, and their safety remarks. If we have to close a runway for any operational or emergency purposes, that is transmitted on that AWAS. The battery life in it is only 30 minutes, and we've had power outages that last all day. So we've lost a lot of our safety equipment during our recent power outages. This station for the generator would be right here. This is our main electrical outlet panel right here, or room, and these are the panels that facilitate it. This is our beacon for the airport that rotates during bad weather and at nighttime to help pilots navigate the airport. So the beacon, the runway lights, the visual aids, the AWAS, and our main administration building would all be powered by our generator that would go right here for emergency purposes. This would be a new generator. We currently do not have an emergency generator, and so that we would need to install a concrete pad, and it would be a new application for us to install. There is a natural gas line that runs right down this road, so we're hoping that this funding would cover the attachment to this natural gas line to be able to run that generator. If for some reason we didn't get enough funding, we could look at different avenues as far as a diesel generator, which we would just fill up. I think that cost might be a little bit less if we're asking to reduce, although hooking up to natural gas would be the optimum way to go. So we'd have less maintenance and less worrying about making sure it's full and operating. We are a part of Douglas County, so we are under the Public Works Department, Facilities Department, and they have a plan and contract to maintain and operate all generators within the county. So this generator would fall under that maintenance contract, and they would perform any annual maintenance or services that needed to be completed. We do know we have we're asking for $213,000 based on estimated costs for this project and prior generator projects that we've had within the county. And that would require a $53,250 match, which we are prepared to give right away and start this project. We have on our timeline, this is about a 36-month project, but that was just for a little generous expectation on how long it would take us to procure a generator that we need. We're ready to start right away and hopefully get it project complete much sooner than that deadline. And I think that is all I have for you guys. I know you're on a limited time. I'm trying to be quick so I don't take up too much of your day. I appreciate you guys and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Heather. I appreciate it. And you have a great name, I would just like to say for the record.
Right?
And then I will go ahead and open up to the members. Does anyone have questions for Heather and her project?
Okay, so no questions. So that means I get to talk again, right? So I also forgot to mention that this airport houses two main firefighting facilities. We have Nevada Division of Forestry and we have the Toyobe National Forest firefighting that are based here at this airport, and they perform critical firefighting operations through California and Nevada. With that, during fire season, they ramp up and bring in additional resources, and this becomes a main hub for all firefighting activity within the state. So that is also a very important reason to make sure that we are able to facilitate them however we can and help them perform their duties, firefighting and protection within our state wildfires. We also have emergency services that use this airport as a main hub for regionally transporting from South Douglas County all the way up into Reno. So those are two entities that I try to help however I can to make sure that we are accommodating them so that they can provide life safety for everyone within our state.
Thank you, Heather, and I appreciate your presentation, and that was very thorough. We appreciate it. Okay, so if the members do not have questions for Heather, then I will close the presentation period. Before we close this agenda item, though, I would like to ask the members, would you like a period to review the application documents that hopefully you now received by email or that were posted on our website? What do the members think would be a sufficient amount of time? Would you like 10 minutes, 15 minutes? I'm open to suggestion here. Since this was our technical error, and again, we apologize that everybody didn't get the documents.
This is Steve Acroth. I'm good to go whenever.
This is Salome Barton. I second that. I'm good to go as well.
Matt
Okay,
Williams too.
Hey, Heather, sorry, Lainey Burrow for the record. Can we just take like a quick 5-minute break? Our ranking sheet just crashed, so I would like to just get that up and running really quick before we start.
Okay, then I will, before I close this agenda item out, I will give the members 5 minutes to review the applications. And then we will move on to the next agenda item, which will be rankings. We will be back in 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
Thank you, members. Hi, Lauren. This is Chair Lafferty. I just wanted to check to see how the technology was going in the room. Hey, Lauren, this is Chair Lafferty. Can the Office of Emergency Management hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hey, Lauren, how's it going in the room? Were we able to get the sheet?
We need about 2 more minutes, please.
Okay, excellent. Absolutely.
You get through it from.
And again, apologies, members. We will get it up and running for you. I'll hopefully give you a little time to look at the paper applications.
All right, sorry about that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call the member's name, and then I will ask the project if you could let me know.
Oh, what before we do that, Lainey, what I'll do is I'm going to close out agenda number 5, move to agenda item number 6 since we're up and ready. And if the members are ready, we will go ahead and close out agenda number 5, move to agenda item number 6. Agenda item number 6 is the ranking of the Hazard Mitigation Grants Program post-fire applications. This is for discussion, possible action. This is again Chair Lafferty. Now we're going to go around the room and gather rankings from each voting member. Remember, each proposal must be ranked numerically by priority, 1 through 3, 1 being the highest priority, 3 being the lowest. And then we will collect all of the rankings and the cumulative of the rankings. And I'm going to turn over control of the ranking and process to our mitigation grant supervisor, Lainey, and our mitigation specialist, Krista. Lainey, you want to state your name for the record, and we will begin?
So, excuse me for just a second. This is Steve Acroft. Can I ask for just a little bit of clarity on the grant and the awards?
Of course, Steve, go ahead.
Okay. So if I went over the materials correctly, the grant is for $1.285 million and some change. Is that accurate?
That is correct, yes. $1,285,231.
Okay, and then what the applicants are asking for is roughly 75% maximum of their project. So if I look at the Douglas County property acquisition, their project is just shy of 800,000. Their ask is just shy of 600,000. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So they're looking for 600,000 of the 1.285 million.
Yes.
Okay. So if I do some quick math, which I was able to do in the break, then it looks like all these projects could potentially be funded because the total of the projects are more than the 1.285. but the asks are just shy of 1 million. Am I correct on that?
Actually, yes, you are correct, Steve. We did want to Sarah's point when she asked the question earlier, the total amount with the match does go over. I was not able to verify with FEMA because FEMA is closed. I do believe, though, it would go off just the actual funding for the grant that is federally awarded. And so with that, I believe they would be under. I would like to, after the ranking, though, still just do discuss reduction just in case when FEMA is back on, they don't agree.
Yeah,
If that's
and then the last question that I had was the grants for 1.285, does DEM or the Office of Emergency Management, do you have admin that comes off the top of that too? So anyway.
No. Oh, that's a great question, Steve. And no, we are not asking for any MA or any type of administrative. We're going to push every one of these dollars directly to the sub-applicants in the state to try and support mitigating some of these efforts for these
You're
wildfires.
so generous.
Yes, yes, we're not keeping anything. Okay.
All right,
no,
thank you.
Those are great questions, Steve. Thank you so much. Okay. Lainey, I think we are ready to go. If you would like to go ahead and take over, we'll begin ranking with the members.
Lainey Pro for the record. Thank you guys again for hanging in with us. Technology is not on our side today. I'm going to go ahead and I will say the member name and then I will list the project. When I say the project, please give me the number you are ranking it. Again, 1 is highest priority, 3 being lowest priority. We're going to start with Steve Acroft. Can you please give me your ranking for Douglas County 1830 Bennett Court?
That's number 3.
Douglas County Minden Tahoe Airport.
That's number 2.
And then Reno Fire Department generators.
By process of elimination, that's number 1.
Thank you. Salome Barton, Douglas County 1830 Bennett Court. Salome, are you able to unmute?
Oh my goodness. I think I need a new headset and I will get that cleared. And that's where my problem is. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, finally. Okay, go ahead, ma'am. Thank you.
No worries. Douglas County 1830 Bennett Court.
That's number 3.
Douglas County Minden Tahoe Airport.
Number 1.
And then Reno Fire Department emergency generators.
Number 2.
Thank you. We're going to move to Matt Williams. Douglas County 1830 Bennett Court.
Number 3.
Douglas County Minden Tahoe Airport.
Number 2.
And Reno Fire emergency generators.
Number 1.
Thank you. We're going to move to Eric Antle. Douglas County 1830 Bennett Court.
Number 2.
Douglas County Minden Tahoe Airport.
Number 3.
And Reno Fire emergency generators.
Number 1. Thank you.
I'm moving on to Rich Colner.
Taylor.
Thank you. Douglas County 1830 Bennett Court.
3.
Douglas County Minden Tahoe Airport.
2.
And Reno Fire emergency generators.
1.
Thank you. Moving to Sherry Davis. Douglas County 1830 Bennett Court.
Number 3.
Douglas County Minden Tahoe Airport.
Number 2.
And Reno Fire emergency generators.
Number 1.
Thank you. Moving to Sarah Fitchner. Douglas County 1830 Bennett Court.
Number 2.
Douglas County Minden Tahoe Airport.
Number 3.
And Reno Fire emergency generators.
Number 1.
Thank you. And then moving to Dawn Johnson. Douglas County 1830 Bennett Court.
3.
Douglas County Minden Tahoe Airport.
2.
Reno Fire emergency generators.
1.
Thank you. And then Tim Hill, can you please confirm that you're on the call since we missed you earlier? You're still on.
This is Tim Hill. I'm on the call.
Thank you. Douglas County 1830 Bennett Court.
Number 3.
Douglas County Minden Tahoe Airport.
Number 2.
And Reno Fire emergency generators.
Number 1.
Did I miss anybody? Or DT Allen, can you please confirm that you're on the call?
Good morning. I am on the call.
Awesome, thank you. Starting in Douglas County, 1830 Bennett Court.
Number 3,
Douglas County, Minden Tahoe Airport.
number 1,
And Reno Fire Emergency Generators.
number 2.
Thank you. Lauren, do I have everybody?
So, but if you want to ask it.
Just one more time to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Is there anybody that didn't get to rank or that I didn't call on? Okay, awesome. Let me share my screen really quick and we'll review rankings and make sure everybody is okay with the final scores.
Thank you, Lainey. We appreciate it. And good afternoon, DT. Thanks for jumping on. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Can everybody see my screen?
I can see it, Lainey.
Okay, so these are the final rankings. We have 1830 Bennett Court. Oh, sorry. So this is okay. So we had Reno Fire Department Emergency Generators come in number 1, Douglas County Minden Tahoe Airport come in at number 2, and then Douglas County 1830 Bennett Court come in at number 3. Do the members agree with those rankings?
Sure.
Yes.
Agree.
Aye.
Yeah,
Right. Heather, I believe that's the end of those rankings. We'll pass those recommendations on to the chief and I'll pass it back to you. I don't, wait, hold on, Lauren's getting me.
Sorry, this is Samantha Laddick from the Attorney General's office. We're going to have to take a vote on the final rankings. And just a reminder to all the members, you're not locked into those rankings as they stand right now. If somebody feels that they're not ranked the way you feel is right, you have the ability to change that now. And just make sure we take a vote, Heather. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, Sam, and I will lead us through that right now. I will entertain a motion for approval of final recommendations to the Chief of the Office of Emergency Management Homeland Security for HMGP post-fire FY25. Do I have a motion of approval?
Move
Barton,
approval.
motion to approve.
Thank you,
Please state your name for the record.
Salome Barton for the record. I motion to approve the rankings as provided.
Thank you, Salome. Do I have a second?
Rich Kaler, I second that.
Thank you, Richard. We have a first by Salome and a second by Richard. Let's take a vote. All in favor of approving the recommendations, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Oh, great. The motion passes. I want to say thank you to the voting members. I will at this time ask Tom for the 1830 Bennett Court. I believe with the way the federal, as Steve mentioned before, Zach and I are pretty sure all of these will be funded under what the federal cost share is or the federal match is. However, if FEMA comes back and says that it's going to be based on the total project, even with the match, which we weren't able to confirm due to FEMA being closed down, would you be able to reduce your project by the allotted amount, which would be the 27,567? Would you still like to submit the application with that reduction?
This is Tom Delaire for the record. Yeah, that would be agreeable to us as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tom. And again, I do not think that's how this will play out. But just in case, I want to make sure, we still knew how to proceed, just in case FEMA came back with different guidance. Okay,
Right.
thank you everybody so much for bearing with us through this process. I know that was a little bit painful. Zach and I will work on making this process a little smoother for us next year. Also, I think one of the best practices Zach and I will start doing is I will, as chair, and Zach is the Assistant State Hazard Mitigation Officer, after Lauren sends out all of the agenda items and official meeting minutes and any attachments that go with the meeting, I will individually email each member just to confirm you've received those. and make sure before the meeting, all the members have those materials on access. And then you can also always access them when Lauren posts them on our website as well. But I think it would be a best practice going forward if the chair just individually confirms with each member. So again, we appreciate everyone bearing through us through this process. I will now close out agenda item number 6 and move on to agenda item number 7. This is going to be a very brief programmatic update for our county hazard mitigation plan status. This is for discussion only, and I will turn it over to Zach.
Good morning, everyone. Zach McCullough for the record. I will provide everyone with a brief update on the county hazard mitigation plans and their statuses. I will be discussing the expired plans, the plans that are expected to expire, and the plans that are in the process of being updated. So first off, we have Humboldt, Pershing, and Lander County. They are currently in the updating process. They recently submitted for FY24's post-fire. That is still awaiting approval. Their plan will expire in October of 2026. Eureka, White Pine, and Ely Shoshone Tribe, their multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan is expired, but is currently being updated. Story County's hazard mitigation plan is expired, but is also currently being updated. And the same is for Esmeralda and Mineral County's hazard mitigation plan. Elko County's plan is set to expire in 2026, in October. Churchill and Fallon Paiute Shoshone Tribe, their plan is complete and is in the final review stages with FEMA. Carson City's hazard mitigation plan has been submitted to FEMA and is now awaiting approval and review. All other county hazard mitigation plans are approved and are expected to expire in the dates of 2029 and 2020 or 2030. Thank you. That is it for me.
Thank you, Zach. Do any of the members have any questions for Zach about any of the updates provided? Okay, excellent. Then we will keep trucking along. This is Chief Lafferty again, and I will close out, or Chair Lafferty again, I will close out agenda item number 7 and move into agenda item number 8. Agenda item number 8 is a brief mitigation grants update in these turbulent times, I might add, in review by the Office of Emergency Management and Homeland Security Mitigation grants team. For this, this is a discussion only, and I will turn it over to Lainey. Lainey?
Lainey Pro for the record. So unfortunately, this time DHS and FEMA are still in shutdown status. So during this time, all grant reimbursement payments are still on hold. This includes mitigation grants. Although we are unable to disperse payments currently, we are still continuing to review quarterly financial report submissions. Payments will resume as soon as the federal systems are back up and running. Time extensions have been under extreme scrutiny for some time now and are taking a significant amount of time for decisions from FEMA. Time extensions can be requested. However, if details regarding project delays are not fully identified and reasonable, we've learned that requests are most likely going to be denied. So if you anticipate the need for a time extension, please reach out to us at mitigation@oem.nv.gov as soon as possible so that we can provide instructions on how to move forward with those requests. Some quick program updates. Building Resilient Infrastructure in Communities, also known as BRIC. That guidance has still not changed, so any updates are received, we will reach out to those applicants to let them know. For Hazard Mitigation Grant Program Post-Fire, 5546. The application is due to FEMA March 31st of 26. So after today's ranking, we will give those recommendations to Chief and submit those applications to FEMA for review. For 5283, the period of performance expires on September 15th of 2026. So if you feel you're not going to be completed by September 15th, please reach out to the grant staff immediately so that we can move forward with those corrective actions. 5382, that period of performance expires May 31st of 2026. So again, if you feel that you're not going to be completed by May 31st, please reach out to grant staff. For Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, 4307, that period of performance end date ended on December 31st of 2025. We are still pending a decision from FEMA on that time extension request. So if you have a project within that grant program, we will be reaching out to you regarding any concerns. Again, with 4523, the period performance end date was February 1st of 2026. We are also still pending a time extension decision from FEMA on that, and we'll reach out to applicants. And then for 4708, all applications submitted under this disaster are still with FEMA in the review phase. So as we receive updates regarding your applications, we will reach out. I understand it's frustrating, but we are trying to keep up with follow-ups on that to make sure those are moving forward. Pending any questions, that's end of my report.
Thank you, Lainey. We appreciate the update. Do any of the members have any questions for our mitigation supervisor or team, Mitigation Nation? No? Okay, pending none. Again, Chair Lafferty, I will close out agenda item number 8, move into agenda item number 9. Agenda item number 9 is update on the state hazard mitigation plan. This is for discussion only with Randy Brawley and the Nevada mitigation team, who's going to lead the update and presentation on what our expectations and outreach efforts will look like and the strategy as we begin the process. We're trying to get early jump on updating our state hazard mitigation plan. And so for here, Lauren, if you're able to share presentation sharing permissions with Randy, I will turn over to Randy, and then Randy, because we did have a little bit of technical difficulties, if we could keep it about 10 to 15 minutes and give them some highlights as we go through the presentation. And I appreciate you being available to talk the members through what it's going to look like.
You betcha. Thank you. Yeah, I can share. And am I sharing the briefing or the primer that went out?
Did you have a presentation, Randy, that you were going to do, or are you just going to kind of talk through the primer?
Oh, you want me to just talk through it? That's just
Or
fine.
either way, if you have the presentation, I'm happy to have sharing permission so you can pull up the presentation.
Sure. Let me see.
Yeah, great.
All right,
We can see that, Randy. Thank you. And if you just want to state your name for the record.
Hello, Randy Brawley. Well, I'm a contractor, Wiseau Consulting, but actually working as an employee for the state of Nevada in the effort to update its hazard mitigation plan. So I am a temporary employee. Are you seeing the full brief or this other brief? I'm on two screens, so I don't know which you're seeing.
Yeah, we are
If you're
seeing the PowerPoint presentation, Nevada 2028 Enhanced Hazard Mitigation Plan. Yep,
Cool.
We are now on the purpose screen.
All right, everybody, this is great. So we are going to have so much fun. Looking forward to this new job, especially we were out at FEMA Region 9 and came around. I don't know, I came back energized as to what all the things that are possible that we can do to improve our process. So 2028 plan, as Heather talked about, where we're 2026, we're in really good shape right now to do a nice deliberate update. And, you know, part of this, of course, is we want to make sure we're aligning with the FEMA guidance as always. But the most important thing is we are looking to not just update the 2028 plan, but we want to, in the next 2 years, develop an entire new process and system that Heather and Zach will lead for years to come, which will be an ongoing process instead of a once every 5 years, thrash to get things done. More importantly, if our dream comes true, we will develop this system out so that it'll support each county too, right? We can have all this information aligned. And when counties need to do their updates, it should be far easier, just as it will be for the state, to actually pull this data down that we make easy to keep updated. And so, theoretically speaking, we update our plans as the years go by. At the 5-year point, we go, hey, FEMA, we freshen it up and we send it off and go, we've been updating it and here's what we're submitting now. All right. Why change approach? Again, like talked about, the 5-year thing's a thrash at every level, from local, tribal, state level hazard mitigation plans. And so we want to get a jump on that and make a continuous process. Specifically, we're out there at FEMA and they're talking about, there's like S17 and 18 are the requirements in E6, 7, and 8, which basically comes down to monitoring, right? The monitoring and updating of the plans. And FEMA Region 9 is looking for a tighter, more active update of processes as they go. So that's really a big item. Again, guiding thing is let's treat it as as a living document, right? Let's do this work once and maintain it instead of going through the cycle and updating. You know, when you update them at 5 years, quite often I find they end up being full rewrites in any event rather than just an update because we keep stacking it up. So we want to keep them updated, make sure they're compliant. And as you see on here, one thing we're going to be doing is using, you know, the system of record will be smart sheets. Is how we'll collect, manage, and share that information. By doing so, that's why it's easy once we've established a model to scale up to include each county, right? Each county can have its sheet within there that matches the states and makes everybody more coherent and a lot easier to keep updated. Core objectives, of course, update the process itself, make it scalable, as I talked about, to go across the state, then also include counties and other sub-jurisdictions like tribes that might want to be involved. You know, and maintaining full FEMA compliance, right? And this is something we can do. It's one of the magic of, you know, databases and things like that. We can have things automatically keep us on track to see, check our compliance. And we really want to make a shorter, cleaner, tighter hazard mitigation plan, man. It is dense. You know, as I'm going through it again, it is a dense piece of material, and we really want to standardize it and slim it down in the coming years. Again, smart sheets, we don't need to go into too much. Bottom line is I think Zach is, as far as he's my man I'm working with on this, is kind of the keeper of that. We're gonna be working together again tonight. We're using database design to make this system, again, so it's easy to upload, easy to input and update, and then easy to spit out reports that essentially ends our final documents. Anything. And of course, we're gonna use it for actual, you know, things like, giving us a heads up. This is a year out. This is 90 days out. This is 3 months out, 30 days out, whatever the case may be, right? So we can use these systems to help us. So with a lean staff, we can be very productive and professional. The backbone, obviously, step one, we're building this out. So we're doing some, again, smart sheets. First of all, doing the database design so that as we then put in these modules, we've got a system that's ready to accept that. And smart sheets, you know, using something like that, you know, kind of as common as Microsoft Office, this gives the state of Nevada the ability to manage its own thing going forward. You know, we're going to, you know, PeopleSoft or somewhere and you know, buying a system that someone else is going to own, right? This is for the state of Nevada and its jurisdictions to own. Where we're starting. So right now, this very beginning that we started with is, I talked about modules 17 and 18 in the hazard mitigation plan. This is a FEMA's requirements. Monitoring, evaluating, updating. Same thing with the enhanced portions, E6, 7, and 8, right? These are the things that are ongoing. So we go, we need a report now. We want something nice and standardized that we can report to this body periodically and keep us going. So that's where I want to start at this point. Then step 2, we can kind of go back to the beginning, you know, as hazard mitigation planning. SM1 and 2 is how do we plan? That's just the planning process in FEMA's requirements. So then we go to that big, and now it gets to be kind of structurally how a plan is usually organized. Then we're going to the hazard identification and risk assessment. And I think this is where we can really make a lot of money, right? As we build this out over the next couple of years, we can have lots of data, maps, things like that, that hopefully counties, sub-jurisdictions could then just pull down. You know, they don't have to keep hiring or building up, you know, people to go get that information to update their hazard profiles. This could be really exciting. Then mitigation strategy development, right? You guys are today talking about the output of that. We have a plan, which, you know, the whole point of the plan is to get projects, right? Prioritize projects. So as time goes forward and events happen, we said, okay, we want this project, we want that project, we want that project. So that would be a module, if you will. Step 6, another module, a local and tribal integration. Make sure we have that piece fully squared away. And then finally, a module that talks about these other things that are out there. You talked about FMAGs and things today, I think, HHPD, other types of items. So you can imagine these modules. In fact, we'll do a slide that. This is in the slide deck. I won't go over it, but you can just see kind of the program components that we're looking at. These FEMA elements, right? Those are part of those checklists. And then how that compliance is demonstrated, right? How we in this system, not just update, but Nevada's new system will comply with each of those requirements. Smart sheet system design, basic database design, right? We're gonna go out there and look at, work with our state partners and agencies, work up our smart sheet dashboards, And then we'll have this quarterly review, right? It's once we get this in the system for things like this meeting, right? It's very easy to be updated of our systems. And then we end up with our full up enhanced MPG, I guess that's redundant plan. Expected results, again, big picture, continuous implementation, not a 5-year thrash. Hopefully enhanced deficiencies are spotted earlier, especially a system like this can help spot us and go, dude, you haven't done a plan. You haven't done an update. You haven't fixed this in a while, and it can flag some things for it, right? And then make it easier for our validations. And then, we have actually, hopefully, ideally, a nationwide model, like the Primo model, for how a state can not only help itself, but also its sub-jurisdictions going forward. All right. Phew. Ha. Where is my video? I don't know. I'm going to try to stop sharing everyone. I'll come back to you. Okay. That was really fast. There's a primer that we sent that went out, and I saw that. We can talk about, but that basically kind of goes through a little more deep. That's basically the same kind of thing is how are we doing this right now? And you'll see those various steps and what we're trying to do at each step. So that's kind of that presentation kind of in a page to go, okay, here's this, and this expected outcomes. All right, questions, comments, or thoughts?
Thank you, Randy. We appreciate that, those updates. Do any of the members have any questions for Randy about kind of our strategy as a state moving forward and how we update the state hazard mitigation plan?
Hey, Randy, this is Salome. I don't know if you can help or you can hear me. I appreciate your presentation and I love the work you guys do. It really does help us a lot moving forward. Is it possible to share your PowerPoint by any chance? That would be great to add to, passing on the information internally to our executive staff to go along with the primer that was provided.
Yes, Salome, absolutely. Randy, if you want to send the updated one you just showed right now again to Zach and Lauren, Lauren can make sure, just email it to them. And Lauren, when she sends out the post email to the members, she can have that attached for you, Salome. That's not a problem at all. Thank you for that question, Salome. Any other questions for Randy? Okay, and we just want to say thank you to the members as we begin updating this process and just let you know we will be updating our points of contacts and starting to kind of look at what research projects we might need. And Randy's really going to help lead us through this effort. And we appreciate that presentation, Randy. I know that was pretty quick and you did a great job. So thank you again. This again is Chair Lafferty. I will close out agenda item number 9 and move into agenda item number 10. Agenda item number 10 is for public comment. This item is discussion only. This is the second period set aside for public comment. If you would like to make public comment by phone, please call in by dialing 669-219-2599. When you are prompted to enter the meeting ID, please enter 202-331-8963 and press pound. When prompted for participant ID, please press pound. When asked to provide public comment, please press *6 to unmute yourself and *6 again when your comments are complete. In order to give people time to call in, I'm going to read the number one more time just to make sure we have our public can access. If you would like to make public comment by phone, please call in by dialing 669-219-2599. When you are prompted to enter a meeting ID, please enter 202-331-8963 and press pound. When prompted for a participant ID, please press pound. When asked to provide a public comment, please press *6 to unmute yourself and *6 again when your comments are complete. Let's start with our members on Zoom platform. Does anyone have public comment on Zoom? Okay, we will move on to the phone. Is there anyone on the phone that would like to make a public comment? Please press *6 to unmute yourself and make your public comment, and *6 when your comments are complete. Okay, hearing no further public comments, I will close agenda item number 10 and proceed to agenda item number 11. Agenda item number 11. Adjournment. This is for discussion, possible action. I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Rich Kaler, motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Rich. And do I have a second?
Salome Barton, second to adjourn.
Thank you, Salome. I appreciate that. So we have a first by Richard and a second by Salome. Let's all take a vote. All in favor of adjourning this meeting, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay.